All right, today we're going to take you behind the scenes of a war you probably don't even know is happening. It's this high-stakes battle against one of the deadliest creatures on Earth. And the front line? Well, it's a super secure, super specialized lab that's dedicated to breeding them. I mean, that sounds completely backwards, doesn't it? We spend all this time and energy trying to get rid of mosquitoes. So why on earth would scientists pour time, money, and expertise into raising thousands and thousands of them in a lab? Well, believe it or not, the answer to that question is the key to saving millions of lives. So to really get why these labs are so critical, you first have to understand the sheer scale of the threat we're up against. A mosquito, it's not just some annoying pest that crashes your summer cookout. No, this tiny insect is without a doubt a truly formidable foe. In fact, it's the single deadliest spreader of disease on the entire planet. You know that tiny buzz you hear by your ear? That little sound can be carrying some of humanity's oldest and most devastating diseases. We're talking about debilitating viruses like dengue, deadly parasites that cause malaria, even these awful parasitic worms that lead to just horrific conditions. And here's the thing. To fight any of this stuff, you can't just treat the person who's sick. You've got to go to the source. You have to understand the carrier.
And that is exactly where this place comes in. This is our specialized headquarters, the Mosquito Lab, or more technically, the Insectarium. It's the one place where scientists can breed, raise, and study this enemy, safely and effectively.
Okay, so what is an insectarium? The best way to think about it is like an intelligence-gathering hub in a spy movie. Seriously. It's a place designed from the ground up to learn everything about the enemy, their strengths, their weaknesses, their attack patterns, all so we can figure out better ways to fight them out in the real world. So, what's actually going on inside these places? I mean, it's not just a big room full of mosquito cages. It's all about conducting very specific, very targeted research, which you can really break down into a couple of key missions. Mission number 1 is basically know your enemy. It's pure reconnaissance. Scientists are studying every single aspect of a mosquito's life, its biology, its behavior, its physiology, and especially its reproductive cycle. That's what the gynotrophic cycle is. It's that whole process of needing a blood meal to develop its eggs. By digging into their genetics and understanding how they work on a fundamental level, researchers can start to find their weak spots. Okay, so once you know the enemy, what's next? Well, now it's time to test your defenses. This is where the lab basically becomes a testing ground. They're trying out everything from different insecticides to see what works, to biological controls, like, say, seeing which kinds of fish will eat the most larvae. And this is the really crucial part. This is where they can safely study how viruses actually get transmitted from the mosquito. They can even grow the viruses inside the mosquitoes for more research. And the whole time, there's zero risk to the public. And pulling all of this off, well, it requires some incredible precision. I mean, to get data you can actually trust, you have to create the perfect mosquito habitat. We're talking a constant temperature, right at 26 degrees Celsius. Humidity, got to be locked in at around 80%. Even the light is on a specific cycle. So yeah, this isn't some swampy back room. It's a high-tech, super controlled environment. And that level of control, it applies to everything. The rules for raising these mosquitoes are so strict, it really is like running a high-tech factory. Everything is standardized. The food they get, how many mosquitoes can be in a single cage. You can't overcrowd them. You can't overfeed the larvae. And you absolutely cannot have any contamination. Every single variable is controlled, because if it's not, your research is worthless.
Okay, I know what you're probably thinking through all of this. You're breeding thousands of tiny, disease-carrying insects. What happens if they get out? It's a huge question, right? And the answer is that safety is without a doubt the #1 priority. The protocols they have in place to stop any escapes are unbelievably strict.
This quote from the lab's own guidelines, man, it really says it all. Infected mosquitoes must be handled with utmost care. There is just zero room for error. The second a mosquito is intentionally infected with a virus for a study, the level of caution just goes through the roof. This is absolutely serious, life or death work. And that safety net, it starts with the people. First off, access to these labs is incredibly restricted. We're talking authorized personnel only. And every single person who walks through that door is a highly trained expert. They know exactly how to handle these insects, and they are hyper aware of the dangers if, something were to go wrong. But it's not just the people. The security is physically built into the lab at every single stage of the mosquito's life. Got some unwanted eggs? They're destroyed with water hotter than 80 degrees Celsius. The larvae? They're kept in rearing trays that must be covered. Any extra pupae? Those are destroyed by boiling too. And finally, the adult mosquitoes. They're kept in secure, insecticide-free cages inside a clean room that's already secure. Literally nothing is left to chance. So when you take a step back and look at the whole operation, you realize this is so much more than just a lab for breeding bugs. This is a critical line of defense for public health around the world. It's a bit hidden, sure, but the work they do here, the knowledge they gain, that's what allows us to protect millions of people from some really terrible diseases. It really makes you think, doesn't it? This mosquito lab, it's just one example of all this incredible, invisible science that's happening all around us, every single day, just quietly working in the background to keep us safe. It leaves you wondering, what other hidden science is out there protecting you right now that you don't even know about?